Hello there everyone, and welcome to your weekly MTA plan work video for the Queens Subways and Long Island Railroad for the weekend of Friday, September 14th, 2018, and lasting until Monday, September 17th, 2018. We have a lot to get into. Familiar service changes and a big headache for the entire F line this week. Well, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, yes, this weekend. And of course, Long Island Railroad issues that we're going to talk about, because I have a lot to say about what's going on this weekend in City Terminal Zone. So without further ado, Queens Subways is first, and then the Long Island Railroad. Is there any work on the 7? We always have to answer this question weekly. And that is yes, there is work. Friday to Sunday, 11:45 p.m. Friday to 10 p.m. Sunday, the 14th for the 16th. Hudson Yards bound 7 service will be running express from Willets Point to Queensboro Plaza, stopping at 74th Street Broadway due to track replacement. For local service to stations, please transfer to an eastbound train at 74th Street Broadway or at Queensboro Plaza. Also, bus service is available between 82nd Street and Queensboro Plaza by using the Q32 or the Q60 buses. Alternative train service is available at 74th Street Broadway for the E, F, and R lines, which I will get into why you may have to pay attention to what's going on with the M, because we have no service again in Queens for another weekend. Partial M train service this weekend. Friday, September 14th, beginning at 8:15 p.m. M service will end early between Forest Hill 71st Avenue and Myrtle Avenue Bushwick due to track maintenance. Saturday and Sunday, September 15th for the 16th, 6:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. midnight. M service will run to and from the Chambers Street J Station in Manhattan due to track replacement. Service will run between Middle Village, Metropolitan Avenue, and Chambers Street every 20 minutes. Trains will be stopping at Bowery and Canal Streets. Is this going to affect the R train? I can tell you right now, no service in Queens will be impacted. For local service along the Queens Boulevard main line, please use the R, E, or F this weekend. And I'm going to go into it right now. We have signal modernization on the E. This is going to take place from Saturday to Monday, the 15th to the 17th, 12:01 a.m. to 5 a.m. E service will be running local in both directions in the entire borough of Queens on the IRT line due to signal modernization. So pretty much on the IRT, there will be no express service on the E and pretty much halfway through the F, as I'm going to get into it right now. What's the situation on the IRT regarding the F? 12:01 a.m. Saturday, September 15th to 5 a.m. Monday, September 17th. This is pretty much going to be the same thing. We have signal modernization, but this is going to affect service in both directions between 21st Street Queensbridge in Long Island City and Forest Hill 71st Avenue. September 14th to the 17th, 9:30 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. F service will be rerouted in both directions between the Q Express between Lexington Avenue and 63rd Street and Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center, and via the D between Atlantic Avenue and Barclays Center and Stillwell Avenue due to track replacement. You can use A, C, and E stations on 8th Avenue or N, Q, and R stations on Broadway to complete your trip. The D will be making all F stops between J Street Metrotech and Kings Highway. Transfer at Times Square 42nd Street Port Authority for the A, C, D, E, F, N, Q, and R trains. Canal Street for the F, N, Q, and R trains. Or J Street Metrotech for the A, C, D, N, and R trains. Free shuttle buses will be running along 2 routes. The first one is in Manhattan between West 4th Street and East Broadway. The second one will be between J Street Metrotech and York Street. This is why I'm going to bring up the D, because it's going to affect the F in Brooklyn. This is from September 14th to the 17th, 9:30 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. D trains and free shuttle buses will be replacing the F in Brooklyn between J Street Metrotech and Stillwell Avenue, Coney Island, due to structural improvements. This service will be running via the F line in both directions in Brooklyn between J Street Metrotech and Kings Highway. Free shuttle buses will be making all stops between Kings Highway and Stillwell Avenue in Coney Island. Transfer between D trains and buses at Kings Highway. Transfer between F and Q trains and shuttle buses at Coney Island Stillwell Avenue. For direct service between Coney Island Stillwell Avenue and downtown Brooklyn, Manhattan, take the F or Q trains. Once again, another headache with the J line. We have no service again this weekend in Brooklyn due to station improvements. This is going to be taking place from Saturday to Sunday, September 15th to the 16th, 3:45 a.m. to 10 p.m. Free shuttle buses and or the E train will replace J trains between Crescent Street and Jamaica Center due to station improvements. J service will run between Broad Street and Crescent Street. Free shuttle buses make all J stops between Crescent Street and 121st Street and will connect with the E train at Jamaica Van Wyck. Once again, I'm going to remind everybody, since the E will be running local this weekend, all E trains will be stopping at Briarwood. Transfer between trains and free shuttle buses at Jamaica Van Wyck E and or Crescent Street J. This is also going to cause another big headache from September 15th to the 16th, 3:45 a.m. Saturday to 10 p.m. Sunday. We got track replacement. Crescent Street bound J trains will be skipping Hughes Street, Lumiere Street, and Flushing Avenue in Brooklyn due to track replacement. So once again, if you're a J rider, I feel your pain. It's really a headache being in Ozone Park and wondering, where is my train service? You know, you guys in Ozone Park deserve better than this on weekends. And as long as they are doing the work, I'm going to keep reporting about it, because Ozone Park is just another forgotten part of Queens, and I need to cover it because pretty much nobody else will, besides Matt Camper, of course. But I've pretty much, because of these service changes videos, gotten better with learning about the Queens subway system. And I forgot that the J and the Z are important to Ozone Park. So obviously I have to bring it up because it's a big issue. Once again, what's going on the Astoria Boulevard line? September 14th for the 17th, 9:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday, same time frame as last week. And you know we have to point the finger out here. Free buses are going to be replacing N train service between Ditmars Boulevard and Queensboro Plaza. And once again, the track replacement, you know where it's going. That's right, to help the station rehabilitation program at Broadway. It's pretty much because of that station improvement. They have to, of course, work on the tracks by Broadway. So, because remember, you're not reopening the station until February. Meanwhile, 36th Street and 30th Street get beautiful stations. Yeah, but what about Broadway? Alright, Broadway is again late. Why did 36th Street and 30th Street get brand new stations earlier, and yet Broadway couldn't get the station done quicker? So again, you gotta point the finger at that. And the MTA said last month, oh, this was going to be the last of the work. Stay patient. Stay patient. This is definitely the last weekend of the work. They lied. I'm very annoyed. And again, I can't point the finger at Andy Byford here. This is not his fault. It's probably somebody from the previous administration who planned this. I don't remember who the last president of NYCT was, but whoever the president was, they're kicking themselves for pretty much screwing Astoria. This is pretty much screwing Astoria because, once again, even though there's no Broadway station until February, I have a bad feeling this is going to go all the way to February. So I'm going to have to keep talking about this until February if they keep reporting this, because it really annoys me that I can't go to the LIRR Diner in Astoria because of this. I tried doing it once this summer. I can tell you right now, it was the worst headache knowing that I could have had an easy 10-minute walk from 21st Street, right? 21st Street and Broadway. Instead, the walk becomes longer. So I'm pretty annoyed about it. It also hurts business at the supermarket too. So, and the pizza shop. So, that's where I'm gonna end it. End service will run between Queensboro Plaza and Coney Island Stillwell Avenue. Free shuttle buses will make all end stops between Ditmars Boulevard and Queensboro Plaza. Transfer between trains and buses at Queensboro Plaza. Train options at Queensboro Plaza include the 7, E, F, N, and R lines. I'm going to quickly go into this, the 14th for the 17th, 11 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. N trains will be running via the R in Lower Manhattan in both directions, from Atlantic Avenue and Barclays Center and Canal Street due to track replacement. Trains will be stopping at the Cab Avenue, J Street, Metrotech, Court Street. I almost said Court Square because I'm thinking about the G train. Court Street, Whitehall Street, Rector Street, Cortlandt Street, and City Hall. Please allow for additional travel time. Now I can get to the G train. The 14th to the 17th. 9:45 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Monday. Free shuttle buses will replace G train service between Nassau Avenue and Court Square due to station improvements. G service will run between Church Avenue and Nassau Avenue. Shuttle buses will make all G stops between Nassau Avenue and Court Square. You can transfer between trains and buses at Nassau Avenue. So pretty much another headache for the G in Brooklyn and in Queens. And thank goodness, at the top of my head, I don't know if there's a big event at Barclays Center. But if there is, no consideration for people who need to go to Barclays Center. That's all I'm going to end that point if there is an event at the Barclays Center. And then lastly, on the A, we have no changes to report in the borough of Queens. There is only one minor headache to report in Manhattan, which, again, if you want the information on the A line, please check out Matt Camper's service changes. He goes all over the system with his PowerPoint presentation. So if you are seeking the information you need for the A line in Manhattan, please go to him. But I'm only doing it from a Queens perspective, and I can tell you right now, no major changes to report in Far Rockaway, so that's very good news, unlike last weekend. So we have reached the conclusion of the Queens subways, and once again, I had to bring up Brooklyn because it's a very big headache what's going on the entire line from Queens all the way to Coney Island. So that's why I went in depth about it this week. Hopefully next week we don't have to deal with it again, but that's where I end the Queens subway segment. Now, on to the Long Island Railroad. These are the service changes on the Long Island Railroad this weekend. The work will be taking place on Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and the 16th. So once again, friendly reminder that bus service will be replacing weekend trains between Ronkonkoma and Hicksville due to the double track project. And once again, I encourage everybody to please visit the MTA's website for information regarding your schedules, because they, of course, do list this information here. And they have the special timetable, which you can pick up at Penn Station or any other Ronkonkoma branch station, and you can get your timetables that way. Or you can check the PDF file, which the PDF file will be in the description below. So if you need that, please remember that. And I'm also going to leave the schedule link as well, so you don't have to search for it and go, oh, I have to click on an old train schedule. This is a big headache. Well, that's why I'm going to help you, because we're going to talk about something very controversial with regards to East Side access work for future service to Grand Central Terminal. So, here's the issue here. This Saturday, September 15th, between 4:18 p.m. and midnight, westbound Long Island Railroad trains will bypass Kew Gardens and Forest Hill stations due to track work related to the East Side Access Project for future service to Grand Central Terminal. Customers will be affected as follows. At Kew Gardens, westbound customers going over to that station can transfer to the E subway train at Jamaica. Take the E train to Kew Gardens Union Turnpike, which again, E service will not be express due to planned track work. The train will be making an added stop at Briarwood, so please remember that. New York City Transit will cross on Long Island Railroad tickets for entry to the subway at Jamaica. Westbound customers departing from Kew Gardens will be accommodated on the subway at the Kew Gardens Union Turnpike stop. New York City Transit will cross-honor your tickets for entry to the subway at Kew Gardens Union Turnpike. And I quickly want to mention that if you are coming directly from the Kew Gardens train station, you have the Q37 bus and the Q10 buses. So if you want options, the Q37 and the Q10 will be able to accommodate you for service to the Kew Gardens train station. So please remember that. Forest Hills. Westbound customers going to Forest Hills must transfer to a special Long Island Railroad shuttle train at Jamaica. The shuttle train will depart at 6 minutes past the hour and 30 minutes past the hour, with the first shuttle train departing Jamaica at 3:30 p.m. Saturday, September 15th. Customers must be in one of the first 4 cars to exit trains at Forest Hill Station. Please retain your Long Island Railroad ticket as it will be collected at the Forest Hills train station. Westbound customers departing from Forest Hills, will be accommodated on the subway at the Forest Hills 71st Avenue stop. New York City Transit will cross-honor Long Island Railroad tickets for direct entry to the subway at Forest Hills 71st Avenue station for service on the E, F, and R lines. Because remember, there is no M service in Queens this weekend. And I quickly want to mention, please prepare for any temporary platforms this weekend. I know the Long Island Railroad's not going to say it, and I've been saying this for weeks now. And you know who to point the finger at. We're not going to say her name in this video, because it gets really repetitive, but please just prepare for any temporary platforms at the following stations: Woodside, Forest Hills, and Kew Gardens due to track work. So I'm warning you all now before you get disappointed. So please just prepare for them. They are coming. I know they are. They always do this. Lastly, we're just going to take a look at this right here, which is Forest Hills and Kew Gardens. And pretty much, this is the issue I have, and this is what I agree with Matt Camper about. And I'm bringing him up here for one good reason and one good reason only. Pretty much during all of this work, all of it, right? There is going to be limited service at Woodside train station on Saturday. How is this acceptable? Look at this. There's more trains stopping at Forest Hills. And again, this is a very bad weekend for this to be happening. Because again, there's no 7 service westbound on the 7, right? You're going to have no westbound service on the 7 this weekend. And then, you're literally going to make people... this is just a big headache. Look at this. Eastbound service is limited at Woodside. They pretty much made the service half hourly. This is a big problem. They're pretty much violating Title VI. And I'm sorry for yelling, everyone, but when Matt Camper first brought me to this PDF file on Wednesday, I was just so annoyed when I first read this. And me and him were pretty much virtually reading along with the schedules, right? He was showing me it. And I was like, Matt, you gotta be kidding me. How are they allowed to get away with this? And again, I'm not gonna say her name. I'm at a tipping point with saying that lady's name. And I'm talking about the executive vice president here, alright? We're not gonna say her name. We're not. Because just saying her name pretty much lets her win here. Alright? So, if you need any service at Woodside this weekend, the best thing I'm going to recommend you do, and if you need service to Penn at Woodside, and you don't want to deal with the limited service, you can take an eastbound train at 61st Street, take a 7 train, 2 stops, go to 74th Street Broadway. Once you're at 74th Street Broadway, walk down the steps and take the E-Train Local, and then take the E-Train Local westbound to Penn Station. That's what I'm going to tell you to do right now. If you have your Metro card, use it. Do not deal with the railroad this weekend at Woodside, because if you need service, just take the subway. That's all I'm going to say. If you need alternative service, and if you absolutely need to go use the 7, you need westbound service, just do what I say. Go to 74th Street Broadway. The train will be stopping there, and you can get your service. And it will be express service into the city. Alright? And I'm really sorry, everyone. This really gets me boiled here. It really does. You know? It does. Also, I'm going to mention at Woodside, Q70 Select Bus is available. So if you want Select Bus service to 74th Street Broadway in Jackson Heights, you can buy a limited ticket and then get off and then transfer to the subway. Alright. Sorry about that minor technical difficulty. We'll go back here. That's going to wrap up your Long Island Railroad and Queens Subway service update for your service changes for this weekend. Thank you all for watching. And again, a little bit more passion into it this week because, again, with Astoria, what's happened to me personally over there, and now with what's been going on with people in Woodside, listen, you know, at the end of the day, we're all from Queens, and we don't deserve this treatment. Alright? We don't. Woodside is a major travel hub, and what's going on here is just Title VI violation. So, all I'm going to say to end this video right now, please, this weekend, like I always say every weekend, plan extra travel time. If you need to get to somewhere early, do so. Because that's what's going to happen this weekend. So, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you all for watching. Till the next one, please take care.